Hey everyone, today we're diving into something you've probably seen 100 times and never thought twice about. It's a common childhood scene, but it hides a really serious danger that you need to know about.
Yeah, I bet you have. You know the scene, a kid catching a ride on the back rack of their friend's bike? It looks like totally harmless, classic childhood fun, right? But what if I told you that this exact moment is a leading cause of a very specific and, frankly, a pretty severe injury?
That's right. This everyday situation is the #1 setup for what doctors call bicycle spoke injuries. And the real danger here is how often they get underestimated, not just by parents, but sometimes even in the ER.
So, what exactly is a bicycle spoke injury? Well, it happens when a passenger's foot, just dangling there, gets pulled into that little gap between the spinning spokes and the bike frame. The wheel is moving fast, and its momentum doesn't just cut the skin. It powerfully crushes the entire foot and ankle.
Okay, now we're getting to the most important part of this whole thing, the clinical reality of these injuries. It is so important to understand that what you see on the surface is almost never the whole story. See, the key mechanism here isn't a cut, it's compression. It's a powerful and sustained crushing force. Think of it like a vice grip tightening around the soft tissues. This damages everything deep under the skin, the muscles, the fat, the blood vessels, even if the skin itself doesn't look that bad at first.
And this right here really shows you the dangerous gap between what we see and what's really happening. A parent might look at it and see a bad bruise, maybe some scrapes, and think a bandage and some ice will fix it. But a doctor, they're worried about what's lurking underneath. Skin necrosis, which is where the crushed tissue literally dies off days later, or deep tendon damage, or even hidden fractures.
And those fractures? They are not some rare complication. About 10%, a full 1 in 10 of all bicycle spoke injuries involve broken bones, usually in the lower leg or those small bones in the foot.
The impact can also be really long-lasting. Recovery isn't always quick, and it isn't always complete. Beyond the permanent scars, which are very common, some kids are left with behavioral issues that stem from the trauma of the accident itself and the really painful recovery process. So whenever an injury this severe and this preventable happens, the medical questions can turn into legal ones really fast. The question of who is responsible comes up, and it tends to go down two pretty distinct legal paths. Most of the lawsuits fall into two big buckets. The first is parental or supervisory negligence. This is where the claim is that a caregiver didn't provide reasonable care because they let a child ride in an unsafe way. The second is medical malpractice. Because the injury can look so minor at first, a doctor might miss the severe damage underneath, which can lead to claims of a misdiagnosis or improper treatment.
And this isn't just some abstract legal theory. We're seeing some consumer warnings that have started to frame these incidents using the language of negligence, which puts the focus squarely on the lack of prevention.
So after hearing all the risks and consequences, what can we actually do? Let's talk about the most important part of this, how to prevent it and what to do if an accident does happen.
The research on this could not be clear. When you look at legal cases and forensic evaluations of these accidents, the one risk factor that comes up again and again and again is the lack of a simple, cheap piece of plastic, a spoke guard or a skirt guard that covers that top part of the rear wheel.
But okay, let's say an accident does happen. These steps are absolutely critical. First, get medical care right away. And when you do, insist on an evaluation that looks for that deep, crushing damage, not just the surface scrapes. And for both medical and legal reasons, it is crucial to take clear photos of the injury as it changes over the next few days and write down exactly what happened.
All right, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with the tools to become your own best advocate for child safety. The information that doctors and lawyers use to really understand these injuries is way more accessible than you might think. I'm serious. You can get into the same databases and read the exact same studies that shape medical guidelines and legal arguments. It's really just about knowing where to look and what to search for.
So here's your cheat sheet. You can hop onto databases like PubMed and Google Scholar, which are free to search. You can look for articles in top-tier journals like the Journal of Pediatric Orthopedics, and if you use specific search terms like the ones you see here, bicycle spoke injuries, children ankle fracture, you'll go straight to the core research.
So we'll end on this question. When a simple, really low-cost device can prevent such a common and severe injury, should using it be left up to an individual parent's choice? Or should we start thinking about it as a public health necessity? It's a really important question at the heart of child safety. Thanks for joining me.